Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy, Dino, and Jared.
Number 99. This is our 99th episode, Dino.
Can you believe it?
I know. Me and Dean are here in the studio. Jared's online with us because he's sick. He's sick, so he's online. And we do appreciate that since we have a small studio and he doesn't spread his germs. So.
Exactly.
But he's here with us. Say something, Jared, so everybody can hear how horrible you sound.
Hi, everybody. I feel like I sound great.
Yeah, so we'll probably keep this one short,
right?
Which should be good. But yeah, 99, and then next, or maybe we can mention that later. Or we can mention it now.
We can mention it now.
We'll mention it now. Be sure to check out number 100.
Number 100.
We had a fun day. We ventured over to Off-Grid Armory.
Right, and hung out with Sam over there and had some fun.
We had a lot of fun, so you guys will definitely have to check that one out.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yep. So, but here we are, 99.
Number 99. What are we going to talk about today? Just some updates, right?
Yeah, a little bit of updates.
We're going to keep it short since one of us is extremely sickly.
Yeah, updates on some shotgun zone stuff, the crossbow, and we look like, what was it? Earlier this week, the deer harvest numbers for 2025
just some MDHA updates, really.
Yeah.
Maybe some other stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
So where do you want to start, Dino?
Well, before Jared, disappears on us, let's get an update on shotgun stuff.
Right. Where is that right now? I think a lot of the counties are meeting right now. They have been meeting over the last few months.
Yeah, it seems like every day on social media there's updates.
Right. And the latest one was Stearns County.
Yeah.
They approved rifles.
Right. Yeah. So counties are still, making their decisions on all that. They have a deadline of, was it May 15th that they have to make their final decision, and then let the DNR know so that they have time to get accurate information within the reg books. So any counties that have not decided at this point should be deciding here very, very shortly. We just got a couple weeks left here. But yeah, for the most part, they've been going with the new statewide regulation to allow rifles, but there have definitely been some holdouts there as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Pretty random too, honestly.
Very, very random.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise to me because, we've been working on this issue for years now, and typically we'd get a bill introduced and we'd have some pushback from just a handful of counties that are way southeast Minnesota. And other than that, there wasn't really too much pushback, but we're seeing these counties kind of all over the state that are choosing to stick with the shotgun zone when they've never expressed that pushback in previous sessions.
Right.
Yeah, I've been, like I said, social media has just kind of been all over the place with it lately. And again, like you've expressed a lot on here, Jared, and everywhere, and it's on the website as well. It's everybody still is considering the safety thing. I read something today where somebody had said, "Well, I guess we'll just wait till next year when 200 deer hunters are injured and see what the DNR in the state says then." Like,
right?
Come on. And there are people that correct them on it was never about safety, and then of course it gets into, they're just gonna kill all the deer and blah blah blah. It's like, man, it's just misinformed people.
Absolutely. Lots of fear mongering.
Yeah.
I was just did an interview recently with Minnesota Public Radio. They were focused more on the Clay County, I believe it was.
Yes.
And they quoted me in there and everything as a proponent of switching to rifles, but they kind of covered all viewpoints on it, and they had one guy that they interviewed, and the quote that they used was that he was worried about people coming onto his land and shooting his cows. And I just if you've got people on your land that are going to shoot your cows with a rifle, Like, don't let them on your land.
Yeah. How does that have anything to do with
Right.
hunting?
So you'd let them on your land and shoot them with shotguns then? Is that what the argument was?
Kind of sounds like
I mean,
Right. How
you know,
dare they
it
shoot 'em with
could be
guns?
that he has some adjoining public land, and he's worried that there's going to be some errant bullets that'll make their way into his cattle. But the science, the evidence does not show that whatsoever. You know, it truly is not a safety issue. We've had a number of neighboring states that have made this switch, and you know, Wisconsin, when they made the switch, firearm related hunting, firearm related accidents actually went down for the first couple years, and they've never been up, you know. So it's really not a safety issue. You know, I would argue that rifles are a much more effective weapon to make an ethical one shot, one kill. And yeah, you know, I understand people have their concerns. Nobody loves change, but it just makes sense.
Right.
You know?
Unless you are using a 6.5 Creedmoor.
wow. That ain't gonna hurt.
Then we have an argument.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well,
maybe they should go that route.
right. Well, and they're just the comments and stuff like, oh, now everybody's going to be poaching deer, or people are going to be, you know, they don't know yardage and they don't understand, you know, 300 yards. Like, do you think all deer hunters are ignorant?
Right.
Like, come on. Right. You know, have a little bit more faith in your fellow hunter.
Right.
You know, it's just ridiculous. And like, I don't think we said it on here, but we talked a few weeks ago. We were headed to Thief River.
Right.
And it's wide open, and we see these big box blinds and only little sections of woods. And Thief River, in that area, they have our highest amount of hides that are collected. So there's a ton of deer, and they've always been rifle.
Right.
So what is the difference of having a rifle in that area, which is still ag land and sections of small trees, compared to southern Minnesota?
Right. Honestly, I think they have more hills and valleys in southern Minnesota.
I would probably agree with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You know, and we've been using rifles and, you know, really any legal firearm for other species all along. You know, I could take my rifle to any county in the state and hunt coyotes.
At night.
Yep.
Or day.
At night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, it just goes to show, you know, obviously know what's at hunter safety 101. Know what's beyond your target.
Right.
Know your target and what's beyond.
Regardless if you're using a rifle or a shotgun.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what you're using. A pellet gun. Even,
right.
You know, slingshot.
Exactly.
So
throwing star.
Throwing star, definitely.
That's going to be our next issue that we're advocating for. Is
throwing stars.
We're incorporating throwing stars into our deer hunting season.
During archery season, I think.
During archery, there you go.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when I was a kid, I thought they were the coolest weapon in the world.
They're pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see you try to throw a throwing star.
When I was a kid, I actually had a lot of throwing stars, Jared.
Yeah. How many times did you cut yourself?
Probably all kinds, but still. Nobody took them away from me.
I prefer the knives and the hatchets. I was pretty good at like axe throwing and you know,
I did practice a lot. I threw everything. I used to take my dad's knife and throw them at trees and break them. He didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah, I bet not.
Because you'd hit the handle and they'd bust off. You know how many buck knives I went through?
I bet he was extremely happy because bucks are.
He said bad words to me an awful lot when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do.
I believe it.
Yeah. Just asking, he'll tell you.
But yeah, we're quickly approaching that May 15th deadline for counties to make their decision. So
what happens if they don't make their decision by May 15th?
Well, they have to. Otherwise, I believe they default to the new statewide. So
which makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned that on our website, mndeerhunters.com, we've got a map that'll show you kind of where the counties are at.
Right.
And come May 15th, that should be the final map that you could expect to see in the DNR reg book. And that's where it's going to get really confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because our DPAs do not follow county lines. And so
exactly. That's a good
from
point.
an enforcement perspective, it's going to be a nightmare. From a hunter perspective, it's going to be confusing as hell as well. You know, that's why we're encouraging all counties to just go ahead and allow the rifles. Just get on board with this new statewide policy, and I can all but guarantee you that there will not be an increase in hunter-related accidents as a result of including rifles during the firearm season.
Right. And do you foresee that maybe next year some of these counties that are holdouts for shotgun might change their tune once they see that it's safe?
I do. Yeah. You know, they've got the opportunity to review this every year.
Really?
So I 100% believe that we'll see that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you foresee counties switching over to rifle and going back to shotgun? Or is that not even an option once they choose rifle?
It's always an option. You know, counties can always set their own ordinances.
Gotcha.
I don't really see that happening.
Yeah.
You know, like going back to the Clay County, you know, that's kind of Moorhead area right on the border there. And the biggest concern that was brought up there wasn't even necessarily the safety issue. It was more of a competition issue with them being right on the North Dakota border. And in North Dakota, you know, you're not guaranteed a firearms deer tag every year. And so they were worried about all of these North Dakota hunters just deciding to come across the border and hunt public lands and road hunt with their rifles because they're guaranteed a tag. And again, you know, we don't set laws around the lawbreakers, right?
Right.
Road hunting is illegal.
Yep.
So we just need better enforcement of that if that's a concern for people. But you know, Minnesota it's a great state for hunting. It's a great state for conservation. I would love to see it become more of a destination state, you know?
Right.
I don't know why I'm getting a middle finger right now.
It was random.
But, you know, I would love to see more out-of-state hunters boosting the economy here and getting us more conservation funding to be able to continue to enhance our deer herd, you know, and our habitat here in the state.
Right.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how, you know, when I hear that, it boils down to I don't want somebody else taking my deer. Yeah. Whether it be out of state, whether it be a youth, whether it be a crossbow hunter, an archery hunter, whoever can get in the woods before me, that's my deer.
Right. I guess that goes to entitlement.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wherever that came from.
Well, along a similar vein, a lot of the rhetoric online that I've been seeing is, you know, with landowners saying things like, I don't care what the county decides, I'll never allow rifles on my land. It's like, well, great, bud. You know, that's your choice.
Right. You can do that regardless.
Yeah. You could choose to be archery only. You could choose to be a wildlife sanctuary and not allow it. Like, that's your right as a landowner.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you should be able to have that same mindset for the public land.
Exactly.
You know?
I don't allow 6.5 Creedmoors on my property.
I know that because I tried.
Right, and I will not allow it. Other than that, though, it's free and clear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one thing, when getting back to the DPAs, you know, don't follow county lines. I read something today to where people were talking about how in shotgun zones previously, you could not have a rifle in those zones during deer season. So, and somebody had said, okay, yep, we understand that law. So this side of the road is rifle. I'm driving down this road. The left side of the road is shotgun.
And I live on the left side of the road. So
exactly. So, I mean, when it comes down to that, then it's more or less, so say you were to get pulled over, then obviously that's up to, the CO.
Right.
And I think this first year, I would hope this first year there's going to be a little bit more forgiveness in those type of instances.
I'm sure there will be.
There's got to be.
There's got to be.
The COs and DNR leadership even, they're as concerned about this as every other hunter, right? Because we still don't know what that map is going to look like, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know. And that's the other thing that is a huge part of this is not only is a DPA, going into multiple counties with those counties having varying policies, not only is that confusing for the hunter and for the enforcement side of things, but now transfer that to the wildlife manager that's trying to set population goals and all of that. Like, how do you set a DPA level strategy for like a harvest strategy when you've got different methods of harvest throughout that DPA, but you have to do one cohesive management plan? It sounds like a nightmare, and it's going to require a lot of flexibility on all parties involved.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And then on another note, Crossbows passed the Senate.
Right, 67-0.
Yeah, unanimous.
Right.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's file 1251. Yeah, unanimously passed the Senate, and we will be seeing that on the House floor on Monday.
That'll be good.
And expecting very similar results, if not the same result. That bill has bipartisan support, and it's a very popular bill amongst most hunters in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be, and I can't imagine, since it went through the Senate pretty quick, can't imagine it wouldn't go through the House pretty quick and just get passed.
Right. I can't imagine if we're going 67-0, the House wouldn't pass it, even if it wasn't a blowout like that.
Right.
Yeah, and kind of both of these legislative changes that we're talking about, I'm very excited about both of these, allowing rifles statewide and crossbows during the archery season, because I feel they directly address what I would consider to be the greatest threat to hunting in the state of Minnesota. And, I'm going to get pushback from this from a lot of people who want to tell you, wolves are the greatest threat, or habitat loss is the greatest threat. Winter severity is the greatest threat. All of those are significant threats that need to be addressed. But if you want to boil it down to what is the greatest threat to hunting, not just in Minnesota, but around the world, it's a lack of hunter participation. We are losing hunters left and right. We're not gaining momentum with the next generation at the rate that we need to. And allowing rifles and allowing crossbows is another way to mitigate that loss to our way of life, right? It's another way for people to get involved, to use a weapon that they are comfortable with, that they are effective with, and hopefully ultimately successful with, and keeps them coming back for years to come.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And part of that, that kind of rolls into the harvest numbers from 2025 that we kind of looked at. I won't bore everybody with all the numbers and whatnot, but we have been increasing, it looks like, over the last few years. So first, since we're talking about crossbows, I'll just kind of talk about archery a little bit. Like I said, I won't bore everybody a whole lot, but so since 2023, archery. So before the crossbow and vertical bow were separate, I know we've talked about this before, but there was 101,000 total license sales for archery. And then, so that first year in 2023, there's 108. And then crossbow harvest was 10,000, vertical bow was 13,000. Then 2024, 109,000 license sales, 13,000 crossbow, 14,000 vertical bow. So vertical bow was still surpassing crossbow. Then finally this year, there was 111,000 license sales, 15,075 crossbow, 14,968 vertical. So crossbow beat vertical by 107.
Yeah.
It didn't go crazy like people were saying.
No, it's pretty much a 50-50 split, and that's what we've seen with other states, especially in the Midwest, that have made that change.
Well, and one thing you could derive from it is these crossbow hunters have always been there. Maybe not a total 50-50, but they've been there, and you just didn't have to report it before. So they're always there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's definitely a part of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee you there's still a part of that where people are harvesting with a crossbow and reporting it as a vertical bow, And
that could be too.
That's one thing where I do, I guess, empathize with the folks that are against the complete crossbow inclusion. Is I'm totally good with it being the same season, include crossbows in the archery season. I would be 100% okay with it being a separate license just for tracking purposes. You buy a vertical archery license or a crossbow archery license, and then that way it eliminates that possibility for errors and self-reporting.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But it's another license to have to track and to have to deal with on all of these data reports.
Right.
So I understand why we didn't go that way, but that's one area where I could see room for improvement is just for the reporting side of things.
And I think in the long run that would help.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too.
For all involved.
And then this year, total harvest. So resident license sales, we'll just go there. That was up. Not a ton, but a good 500, 600 maybe. Non-resident sales, that was up. Again, not a lot, just enough. Actually, across the board, everything was up from last year. Success rates on, I think it looks like all accounts except for muzzle loaders, which is kind of funny. That muzzle loader sales were down this year. So I do retract that where everything was up. Muzzle loaders were down, but harvest number was 186. Last year we were at 170, 679. So up about 16,000.
Yeah. Well, and that the muzzleloader stat, that's to be expected with the other harvest rates going up.
Right. Yeah. Because muzzleloaders last. Yeah.
Exactly. So more people got their deer early.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with the mild winters, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. And the mild season where people got them, during regular rifle or archery, and everything else. So, but I mean, harvest numbers. So that's good. Kind of back to that 186, we took a dive, in 2022 and shrunk down a lot in 23. And now we're back up.
Well, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
It means our herd is recovering.
I would think so from what it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm. From the harsh winters.
And
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of covers, like I said, I'm not going to bore everybody with all the numbers, with all the facts, because I don't know if people understand everything or can, figure out. I don't even understand all of it.
Right. It's big numbers.
I'm not very scientific.
Right.
But it does look like, again, numbers have been increasingly up for the past few years.
Right. And we've had, would you call last winter a mild winter?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I think so, right?
Yeah. So I think the last, it's
2.5 in a row.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This be our third winter?
This would be, yeah. So this coming hunting season should be pretty dang good.
It should be. Mm-hmm. As long as we get, for population size, definitely.
Right.
Now I guess we'll see what kind of winter we get. We might get hosed again, but
Well, let's just see what kind of weather we get too for this hunting season.
yeah,
Because that makes a huge difference
yes,
too.
yep,
It's, normal-ish.
yeah. And overall success was 35%. So that was up from 32.7,
Right.
and yeah, so that's pretty decent.
Well,
I would
it's
say.
good to see because when those numbers go up like that, that means more people obviously are being successful, which means that we might recruit some extra hunters because
Right.
they actually had some success.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope, right? It's the number one indicator of if a new hunter is going to continue is having a successful hunt, right?
Absolutely.
And the more we can see that, the better.
and honestly, you look at this chart that goes back all the way to 2001, and you can kind of remember some of these winters. And obviously, it took a dive the year after, and a slow increase, and then kind of back down when we had a tough. Yeah, 2014 was a horrible season, but if I remember, 2013 was a shitty winter,
Right.
and then it slowly increased, and then it kind of dove back down. 18, 19. I remember we had kind of a long.
Did you say 18, 19?
Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Oh, I thought you meant like 18, 19.
No, 2018.
You're old. You're not that old, bud.
And then 2020, that was a pretty good spike. That COVID year, everybody was out hunting.
Right.
And then we've dipped back down the last few 20 to 23.
We had some hard winters.
Oh,
there.
yeah, there were some good hard winters, and
Lots of
now we're on the uptick. So
Yeah, like you said, it's been 3 very mild winters, and I just want you guys to take a minute and reflect on what happened 3 years ago and why that might be.
that was. How can we make it? We need to make a wristband before Jared or after.
But before Jared or after Jared?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
I brought the sunshine and warmth that is my personality.
He brought the Colorado weather.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring the sunshine in our
The
lives.
sunshine. It sounds like you need to get more sunshine.
Yeah, I think so.
Kill some of those germs.
I need something, man. I need some emergency, or I don't
That
know.
emergency actually worked pretty good. I tell you that.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Or Zycam. Is
It's
it
like that
Zycam?
vitamin C stuff,
Yeah.
vitamin D.
Yeah.
And I've been chugging the liquid IVs, trying to get those electrolytes going.
Oh, that stuff's disgusting.
That stuff's horrible.
It doesn't taste good.
I think it made me sick once.
Yeah, I prefer just like Pedialyte.
Yeah, that's basically what this is, just in powder.
Yeah, but it tastes worse.
Yeah, and I definitely don't recommend snorting it.
Probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that at all.
Anybody listening, do not do what he just said.
Do not snort.
Pedialyte or whatever.
Yeah, what?
Liquid
yeah.
IV.
Liquid IV.
Liquid IV.
Yeah, that's
It's bad enough to drink it.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next? What else is going on? Okay, we did crossbows. We did shotgun.
We did harvest numbers.
Harvest numbers. What else is there to talk about today? Before Jared passes out on us.
Right. What do you got, Jared?
Anything?
I mean, it's turkey season. I have not
turkey
been out yet.
I have not, but I have my calls.
Yep.
I picked up a new bow.
Yeah, you did.
I am going to hopefully, maybe I can sneak out this weekend, but I don't know if I'm that lucky.
Yeah,
I'm going to try.
I don't think I'll be able to sneak out this weekend. I've got a banquet to go to. But I went out the other day. I don't know if I'd call it hunting, but I went out, tried to do a little bit of calling just behind the property because I did have turkeys. I think I have too many predators. I think I'm going to have to get rid of a fox
Right.
and a couple coyotes because I didn't get any response. It was really windy, so that probably didn't help. But so I didn't technically go out once.
You got me beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even pulled the bow out yet.
I put the new calls I got in my mouth last night and made noises with them, so that's something.
Did you choke on them?
I did not choke on them, but they do seem rather large. And I did make noise, but I'm not sure it's the right noise.
Yeah, you got to cut them down to where it's nice and easy. But yeah, I'm still practicing with
Yeah.
mine.
And I got a box call, which I think is okay. And then I got a slate call, which it's barely okay. So I don't know. I might have to upgrade, but
Yeah, let me tell you, I got those mouth calls, and I practiced them last weekend. I had annoyed the hell out of my wife.
Right.
And I gagged, I don't know how many times. And but they're a little bit difficult, to kind of get used to. And I can pretty much make one good sound. I don't know if it's good or not because needless to say, I haven't had turkey come in.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Just practice.
I know. I got 3 of them. They were came in a 3-pack, right?
Yeah.
Well, I put them in my mouth, and I swear they all make the same sound. So I'm guessing it's something I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, because I've got a 3-pack, and I can tell the difference for sure with 2 of them. One's raspy, one's a little bit more higher pitched, and then the other one, it's in between.
It's like a cow or something.
It could be. It very well could be.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm going to go out there and maybe throw some out.
Yeah.
If I get a chance this weekend, I might do that.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't been out yet. I'm hoping to get out in 2 weekends. I got a board meeting and a banquet this weekend, so hopefully the following weekend I'll get out there. I think I'm going to bring my oldest son on his first hunt, which would be cool. To be fun.
Right, and he's what, 36?
He's 36. Yeah, yeah, minus 21.
Dude, don't do that kind of math around people like us.
Wait, no, minus.
Yeah, I was going to say
minus 31.
Yeah, I was going to say 31. I was like, he's not that old. I'm the.
To anybody listening, that's 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the dumbest one of the group, and I could do that math pretty easy.
Yeah, I just snorted some liquid IV in my mouth.
Yeah. So yeah, turkey season's going. Hopefully, some people are having good luck.
I've been seeing a lot on social media. I haven't had a chance to look at any preliminary harvest data, but it looks like people are having luck. I've been seeing them around.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been seeing.
Well, when we were coyote hunting the other night, we saw a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Right.
out hunting. I don't think season was open yet for turkey, was it?
It
No.
was not.
It was not.
That was like the weekend before.
Yeah, then we were driving the other day. We saw a bunch of turkey.
Yeah.
I guess not a bunch. We saw
a couple.
A few, yeah.
A nice Tom.
We did see a nice Tom. And I know our good friends Josh and Katie, they're out turkey hunting, but they've been unsuccessful so far.
Oh, yeah.
But they did get some videos. I think that was a hen. I guess maybe it was further away.
I guess I didn't see it.
Yeah, they had a video or a picture of some turkey, but I do remember the comment was they weren't cooperating, which is typical.
Well, they are an American species, and I don't think they come in for Canadians.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, NWTF is in Canada now. They must have turkeys.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think they're bigger turkeys, smaller turkeys?
Well, usually the further north you go, the animals get larger. There's a special word for that, Jared. What is it?
What?
What's the scientific term for why animals get larger the further north you go?
I'm blanking right now.
Okay, I'll give you a pass because you're sick. Not that I know, but I know there's a word.
There is definitely a word.
Right. I thought you were going to enlighten us. With,
I definitely can't, but I thought for sure Jared could, and I think if he wasn't sick, he probably would.
Yeah, probably. Turkeys might have a hard time. I could make up a with word. Those Canadian gooses. Yeah.
Canadian gooses.
Yeah, the ninja turkey.
That's right.
But fishing's right around the corner.
Fishing opener.
What do we got? 3 weeks? 1, 2,
something like that. The lakes are starting to open up.
3, maybe 4 weekends. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, the lakes are starting. Keep pulling away more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. My lake's finally open.
Really?
Nice.
That is nice.
So I Googled it, Jim.
Uh-oh.
Bergman's rule. Does that sound familiar?
No, I thought it was a more scientific word, but I could be wrong. Don't listen to me.
Northern gigantism.
That's what I was going for.
No, I would say a word, but it probably means something horrible, so I'm not even going to say it.
And then we'll get blocked off of YouTube.
I know, so I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking of.
I kind of like that Northern gigantism.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing, but I know there's a scientific term for it. At least I think there is. And then somebody listening to us right now screaming it. I know it.
Oh, guaranteed.
It's like, God, you guys are idiots.
Yep.
Probably screaming it in a Canadian accent.
Hey.
Is it storming there? I just heard thunder, I think.
It is getting ready. If it hasn't yet, it's getting ready to.
I can't see outside right now.
So we might not make it home.
If we just all of a sudden cut off, know that it was probably a lightning strike, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We can't be done before 100th episode.
Right?
Yeah,
that would be
we
sad.
Can't end it
We're making it to 100.
We're making it to 100 because that is a milestone.
It is a milestone. I mean, 20 was a milestone.
Yes.
Because most podcasts don't make it past 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Only like 0.1% or something like that.
And if you're still listening, we definitely want to thank you for helping us make it this far and keep us doing it. Because if we didn't have listeners, we would have quit a long time ago.
Right. So if you're listening, and make a comment, tell us why.
Right. Tell us how much dumber we have made you.
Right? What is it?
Over the course of 100 episodes.
I know. I wish I had that thing off Billy Madison with the judge of the contest.
Right.
We are all now more dumber for having to listen to that. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So,
yep. But other than that, yeah, if you are listening, make sure you do subscribe, follow, send it to your friends. If they have nothing else to do, while lawns are getting green, while they're raking leaves, put in some headphones, listen to Down the Barrel.
Why not?
Exactly.
Even if you just want to listen to us, just under your voice, just say, God, these guys are stupid.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps you fall asleep or might give you nightmares.
I don't know. Just want to feel smart.
Yeah. Or if you snorted some liquid IV and you just need to hang out.
Right. We're cool with that.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't recommend the lemon lime. I'm going to try the strawberry.
Well, one thing you guys should check out is our website and our merch. We've never really mentioned the merch.
Yeah, you can buy some Down the Barrel shirts, hats, whatever.
You know what? And if you buy a hat and you want to send it to us and we'll sign it and we'll send it back.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll send it back for free.
Yeah. Dean will pay the postage.
Yeah.
Sure.
So check out the merch. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. We got sweatshirts, T-shirts.
Yeah. I've seen some around at some sports shows and stuff.
When we were down at Game Fair last year, we saw a few.
Yeah, we had a couple fans down there.
Yeah.
We definitely did. I saw a guy today with it on.
Really?
Yep. He had the hat on, walking around.
Were you looking at a mirror?
Huh?
Were you looking in the mirror?
No.
No, but it's pretty cool especially when you're at Game Fair and there's thousands and thousands of people and we're walking around. We see some guy wearing a Down the Barrel shirt. Right. We're like, did you get that at Goodwill or where did you find that? He's like, no, man, I don't miss an episode.
Somebody left it on the side of the road.
Right.
We're like, that is awesome. Well, we appreciate anybody that does actually listen to us for longer than, 30 seconds.
Right.
Per episode.
Yep. And be sure to check out the next one.
Yeah. 100. It's our biggest. Best.
Best?
Right. Where we're going to be at Off Grid Armory.
Yep. And like we said, obviously you hear it, but that may be, I think Off Grid is going to be some milestones, 150. You know what? It was so fun. 120.
Right.
125.
Yeah, like every fifth episode.
Yeah, or just, number 105.
we do need to go back, because we've been planning that for the 100th episode for so long, and then I had to go and die.
Right.
Yeah, you had to get sick.
You did. And we'll go back. We just got to make it to 200.
Yep.
Or whatever we decide our next milestone is.
110.
And maybe that is. Maybe that's it. We'll have to look it up and see, okay, for the podcasts that make it to 100, where's the next, failure point? And we got to get beyond that.
Exactly. Because
I say we do it for our 101st episode.
Okay.
we each get like a Dalmatian or something.
Dalmatian.
I don't want a Dalmatian.
I really don't either. I prefer Pyrenees. The great ones.
I prefer labs.
Only you'd want a Dalmatian, Jared.
Yeah, nice try.
That's Jared.
101 Dalmatians, guys.
I get it, but dumb.
What do you say?
On that note,
Yeah, I mean, I think that covers most of our updates.
Yeah.
I'm sure we got other things we could say, but you're probably sick of listening to us.
yeah.
Jared's probably going to fall asleep.
I was going to say we appreciate Jared being on virtual.
Right.
Yeah,
It is,
thanks
you know-
for having me.
Honestly,
What?
it's kind of nice having a virtual out here.
It might be the newest thing.
I believe it. You guys look much more comfortable. It's like I get on virtually, and all of a sudden, you guys are on with no pants.
That is not the no pants part, but we are experimenting with video. So
Right.
who knows? I don't know if it'll stick. Maybe it will.
Why did no pants make you think of that?
He likes
Because
to
we're
share.
live. Yeah.
Right.
Not live, but video.
Right.
Well, tune in next time when we transfer over to OnlyFans.
Oh, God. We can't rely on that kind of income stream.
Not really. We're definitely going to fail.
All right. And on that note,
Definitely.
Just one last reminder. The crossbow bill hits the House floor on Monday. So contact your representatives. Let them know you support the elimination of the sunset on the crossbow inclusion. And hopefully we'll see that pass here Monday, and we'll have crossbows forever.
Yeah.
Right on.
And be sure to visit your county meeting for the shotguns and let the shotguns go, and rifles for everybody.
right.
We should make a poster. Rifles for all.
Everybody gets a rifle. You get a
Everybody,
rifle.
yeah.
You get a rifle.
I think so too.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll call it good there.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Check back next week for one hundo
Yes.
and loud noises.
Loud noises.
Loud noises.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Dot Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.
Need help and don't know where to turn? First Call for Help 211 connects you to free confidential support, including dedicated veteran services for housing, food, and mental health, available 24/7. Just dial 211. Help starts with your first call.